Hi everyone, Flaming Footy here and welcome back to another video on the channel. And today guys, we're going to be starting up a brand new series on the channel. Alright guys, had this idea for a little while and today is going to be AFL 2022 round reviews and previews. So, I'll be going over this with you in a little, very soon about what's happening, how this is going to work. But yeah, pretty much we're going to be doing the last round review. So we're going to be reviewing all the games in round 1, and then we're going to be doing a quick round 2 preview off the back of the tips that I have put in. Now, obviously, to me hasn't gone out just yet, and my plan for that is this round had to be a little bit different. So yeah, I have decided to do the bulk uploads today and nothing tomorrow. I'll be busy. But, yep, we're going to be reviewing round 1, then previewing round 2. Tipping will be out soon as well, and so will the Sunday game review. So I'm going to be doing the 3-game review just because it gives me more time to talk about your team. Because in this I'll have bugger all time. I'll have about maybe like 40 seconds or something to go over. So, yeah. Anyway though, let's go ahead and hop right into things. So you'll probably be like, it's a Monday. Doesn't this normally go out on Tuesday? Well, it will normally go out on Tuesday, but this week I just want to do it on Monday just because I just want to make this my channel thing. Like, I just don't want anyone else to steal it from me this close to the year starting. So we're going to be reviewing every game. So the first game review is Melbourne versus Western Bulldogs. So I'm just going to go ahead and tap on that, wait for things to load. And we're going to be having a look at the scores, and we're going to be having a look at the worm. That is it. So these are going to be short, so that's what I'm going to tell you. Each review will be short now. This game was a very up and down game. You can see there that Melbourne beat Adelaide in the first term. Second term, Doggies brought it back. Third term, D's. Fourth term, looked like Dogs could have brought it back, but Melbourne held on and kept their ground to take a nice win, winning 97-71. Melbourne by 26. It was an interesting first game of the year. But yeah, now we're going to have to move on to the next game as we don't have a lot of time. I want to try and make these like 15 minutes or something, so we've got to try and get through everything. Now in the second game, Carlton and Richmond. Carlton won by 25 points, 101-76 now. This one was interesting. There was times in this game where it looked like either team could win it. Carlton were not very good in the first term. Richmond got ahead. Second term, Carlton brought it back to a lead at half-time. Third term, it was Richmond. Fourth term, they got out to a 20-point lead at the start, the Tigers, which had them in the driver's seat. And then the Blues come on and bang on goal after goal after goal to seal the deal and get the job done. Doherty kicks a goal. That is a remarkable moment. Carlton win by 25 and start their year off on a very good note. I haven't done that for like 10 years or so now. Alright, we are skipping along to Friday night now. Big upset in town as Collingwood win by 17 points over the finals-looking Saints. Now, this does not completely write them off in finals. We do know that Collingwood do play very well on round 1. They've got a very interesting team next week in the Crows. I tell you, that's a good matchup, Collingwood versus Adelaide. And for St Kilda, there is some work that needs to be built on. Jack Hayes was pretty good, though. And you can see here that Collingwood really had a decent lead the whole game, sitting around that 15 or so point mark. And St Kilda never really brought it back, except in that final term. But Collingwood just too good, too strong in the end, and they take a 17-point win. Geelong Essendon, the annual country game. Nick Martin kicks 5 for the Bombers. Patrick Dangerfield best on grounds. Now they're in this one. This was just a worm. They've just gone up. There was no Essendon never led. It was just going up and up and up for the Cats, and they were just dominating in this game. This was their game to win. And they definitely took it. There was no bomber, and it was always just going up. They were always getting goal after goal after goal, and it was around that 80-point margin a couple of times there. The Bombers did well to bring it back to 66, but 66-point loss in round 1, it is still a very hefty loss, and a lot of work needs to be done by the Essendon Footy Club. They need to win big to get their percentage back all right. Now, they're very interesting. Sydney Derby at Core Stadium. The Giants lost 92-112. A very interesting one. The Swans got the job done. Luke Parker went forward, kicked 5 goals. Buddy only kicked 1 in his race to 1,000 goals. It was an up-and-down contest. Swans, Giants, up-and-down worm. Although the Swans had it the last quarter with no real sign of comeback from the Giants, although they were still there. but it is a 20-point win in favour of Sydney Swans, and that's what they need to do to start off their year, considering this is the team that knocked them out in the elimination final last year. So the Swans get their dream start, and Buddy still hunting 1,000 though. Now, Brisbane versus the Power. The Lions won by 11, 80-69. Now, in this game, this was a very low-scoring game compared to what we actually had of thought. Now, the first term was 14-7, and then 30-34 at half-time. Lions at quarter-time, Power at half-time. The scoring did open up again in that third term and in the fourth term, but the Lions left it late, but they did charge home to win, and they are very good up on their home Gabba deck, Brisbane, and they'll be happy with that win. And this was a real top four clash, though. Alright, so here we are heading into the Sunday games. Hawthorne defeated North Melbourne 78-58. Now, this was an interesting contest. I actually tipped North Melbourne, and I was pretty happy at this kind of part where they were up by 21 points. I was very happy about that. I was like, oh yes, North might win. A little bit of an upset going on here, but the Hawks is too good, too strong under new coach Sam Mitchell. But yeah, Horn Fronts kicked his first goal in AFL footy. He was good. But yeah, it was a very interesting contest, although the Hawks had it in the bag later on in this final term. The Roos brought it back close, but in the end, the Hawthorne Hawks were just too good at the MCG. And they take this one out by 20 points. Now they're heading on to the Adelaide Fremantle game. I will tell you, I was not happy with this one. Of course, you know I'm a Crow supporter. Not just any old Crow supporter. I'm a very good Crow supporter. But when I do make these videos, I'm a fair. I don't just use my bias. But yeah, I do. I was watching this game. I was really happy when the Crows are up at around this kind of part up here. And you could almost say we just choked it, really, and let the Dockers back in. Our first half was not good. Like, the Crows' first half was not good footy. We came back in the third, and then in the fourth, the Dockers just got the job done. Rochelle kicked 5. It was a brilliant game, this one, though. Very close, and the Dockers ended up walking away 1-point winners, and that one went down to the last line defence, and there was only centimetres in it. Here we go, we are heading over to the final game. Almost a little bit of an upset, if you want to say. West Coast 80, Gold Coast 107. Gold Coast won by 27. That is the perfect start to the year for Gold Coast. And they were just too good, the Suns. West Coast had it really for the first half of footy. And then the second half, it was all really Gold Coast. Gold Coast were a little bit inaccurate. But in the last goal, in the last term, put on 8 goals to seal the deal. Now, this is the first time in their history that they've beaten West Coast in Perth. So, this is a very interesting upset. Does this show that West Coast have problems, or is this Gold Coast being pure good? Well, now we're going to be hopping on to the round 2 previews. I'm going to be having a look at what games are very interesting and what games are very easily tippable. Yeah, so we've still got plenty of time. We've got 7 minutes to do the preview, so we should be able to smash it out. Here we go, so we've got some interesting games here. So the first one is Western Bulldogs versus Carlton. Western Bulldogs coming off of a loss, Carlton coming off of a win. I still don't think this changes anyone. I mean, it probably does change some people's point of view, but I still do have the Dogs winning this one. I just think the Dogs are still just too good and too strong, even though Carlton did beat Richmond, but Richmond weren't that good in round 1. I think Carlton were very good, though, but I just don't think they're going to be able to beat a real premiership contender in the Western Bulldogs. So I have the Western Bulldogs taking it out by a safe-ish 20-ish point margin. Now, for the Friday, this is a big game here. Now, this one was hard to tip as well. Swans Cats. Now, Buddy races towards 1,000. Does he get there? I think he might. I mean, if we have a look at round 3 real quick, they've got the Dogs. So he will do it in here. He will do it in round 3 if they don't do it in round 2. But it's under lights, prime time, SCG in front of his home crowd. It'd be a remarkable moment if he was to do so. Now, I actually do have the Swans taking this one out by, I don't know, I think it's about 10 or so points, something like that. But yeah, I think that one's going to be a good game. Collingwood Adelaide, another blockbuster clash coming up here. Collingwood did play well in round 1. Adelaide did play well in round 1 as well. Very unlucky to have the loss, I'd say, for the Crows. Now, I am going to say here that Collingwood will win. I've tipped them by 7 points. I think at the MCG, they're just too strong. I think the Crows will not be good at the MCG. Although, you never know. I feel like this one's going to be a really close game as well. Now, on to Essendon versus Brisbane. I don't really see a lot of closeness in this one. I think I tipped the Lions by a safe 30 or so point margin. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I think it will be a decent win to the Lions. It is away from home, but I still don't think that really poses any problems. Port Adelaide versus Hawthorne. I've tipped Port Adelaide by about a 50 point margin. This is just ridiculous. I just think that, yeah, the Port will just be way too strong. Gold Coast versus Melbourne. I have Melbourne winning this one by, again, another pretty comfortable margin, 40, 50 odd points. And two Saturday nighters are not going to be the best of games that you've ever seen. These are probably some of the worst games, although if you're a Port or a Melbourne fan, get excited. You'll be able to watch your team convincingly upset the other team, unless there's an upset looming. Is there an upset looming? I'm tipping the D's by 40, 50. Now, this is a really hard game to tip. It isn't Marvel, it's North versus West Coast. I'm saying North are going to win in an upset. I'm tipping North 2 weeks in a row. And if North don't get it done, I will be quite surprised. I'm tipping North. I'm going to tip them by about a 10 point margin. It's West Coast away from home. If they can't win at home, then they can't win away from home. It's pretty simple. Richmond versus GWS at the MCG. Very close game here. I have GWS winning. It's at the MCG though. This is another tough one. This is a real toughie here. Got a real tough game here. It's at the MCG. I'm going to tip the Tigers. I reckon. I'm going to tip the Tigers. I'm not sure of a margin. This one could really go either way. And I might even change my mind on this one. I don't even know. I think I'm just going to say Tigers for now. But I'll probably end up changing my mind. Freo, St Kilda. I have Freo winning this one by about 10 or so points. So that's the round 2 preview. We've got some brilliant games coming up here. Real talking point though is this game. Does Buddy get his 1,000th game? 1,000 goals? Let's find out. Friday night, 7:50 Victorian time, 7:20 South Australian time. You do not want to miss this one. Now, also a couple of other big games this round. We're going to be pointing out some big games, and then we're going to be having a look at the ladder. Big games this round. I have Sydney Geelong being one of them. I have another one being Freo St Kilda. That's a big game, that one. That's a massive game. And I have another one being North West Coast. I have all the Sunday games being really important and significant. And then, you know what, I'll throw Collingwood Adelaide in there as well, as that's going to be close contest. I think the rest could be decided by over a 20-point margin. Perhaps. I think the rest could be around over 20-point win for the side that is primed to win it, which would be like Doggies over Carlton, Brisbane over Essendon, Port Adelaide over Hawthorne, Melbourne over Gold Coast, them kind of things. Ladder time now. We're hopping onto the ladder. So as you can see here, this is a ladder. It doesn't really mean too much after round number 1, but after round 4 or 5, we'll be starting to see how this is tracking and how it is going. So currently, currently it's an interesting ladder. Again, when we get into round 5 or 6 past this early game mayhem, you'll start to see that there'll be the real teams up the top, like your Melbourne, your Cats, your Bulldogs, your Power. Once they play easier opponents, you get a decent look at how teams are shaping up. One thing to keep your eye on, though, is Freo. They've got a very easy start to fixture and a harder end. So, yeah. But that's going to do it today for the round reviews and round previews. So, hope that you guys are going to enjoy this new series. I most certainly am. You guys can let me know your thoughts. But, yeah, tipping later today. And then the Sunday round preview, round review later today. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe and hit the notification button so you guys will never miss another video on the channel. Thank you guys all so much for watching. So bye everyone. Flaming Footy out.